And at long last, it's time for the ending. Now, I decided to put the ending in its own part. I could have easily put this at the end of the previous part, but that was getting too long as it is. Anyway, the ending has been greatly expanded on since the original Mystery of the Emblem. First, as you can probably guess from what's happening now, every character says one line. This was not in the original Mystery of the Emblem at all. It's kind of like a parallel to the whole final battle quotes thing in previous games. You know how all the characters usually had a, Ryan's was oddly generic there. How a lot of, all the characters would say a line if you bring them to the final battle. And once again we have another mention of Aaron's, terminal illness. Katrina still seems hung up on Marth. Warren is still kind of generic to the end. I do like the way they've localized Bordencourt's dialogue. I guess there was really no real indication of how they all spoke back in Shadow Dragon, because they, well, never spoke. So yeah. And, Bord's gonna go drinking too. I love that one. Yeah, I'm just gonna comment on any ones I find interesting as they happen. That was oddly simple. I'm not sure if their father and mother are dead yet. No, I like that mention of Lorenz there. And once again, Sirius is still, being all woo mysterious. So I guess all three Axe Fighters are going to go out drinking. Let's just hope they don't get drunk and triangle attack the place apart. Yes, they actually can do the triangle attack in this game. Have I seen that before? Oh yeah, you'll become famous as the guy who's completely inferior to Narval. Okay, yeah, this bit here. The her there, I think that makes more sense if you get their supports. Victory down. Yeah, the her they're referring to there is, presumably Caesar's sister. I'll talk more about that in the ending, but in their supports, yeah. I actually remember translating a few of these back in the day. A few people asked me to translate some of these. Since they were very short, I found that, yeah, I could just do them pretty quickly. And the she mentioned there is Etzel's wife, who died, I think, in the last war, I'm not sure, but anyway. And that line is awesome. Wait a minute.
Go on, say it.
Alright. Friendship is magic.
I'm sorry, but the resemblance to that was just ridiculous. By the way, I'm not actually going to tell you where that voice clip is from, because it's kind of a spoiler, so I'll just leave it at that. Suffice to say, anyone who actually gets that reference will realise just how hilariously similar this is. Alright, moving on. Well, yeah, get it? Because his name is Dice, ha 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 ha. Your reward was only like 580 gold from what I remember, that's like nothing. Anyway. Hey, stop being so depressing. Okay, that was pretty simple. Ah, that's a nice line. If only he was standing right behind you wearing a mask and not telling you who he really was. Well, no, that certainly can't happen. No, he's definitely not, standing right there, wearing a mask, and telling everyone he's not to move. No. That may lead on to her ending, you'll see. It's a shame you don't get to see what she's actually going to say there. But hey, and it's Dolph, my favourite character from Shadow Dragon. I still don't exactly know why, but he's cool. His supports are pretty cool too. And I like how they've worked in, that's the sort of, inevitable conclusion to his recruitment conversation. And Katharina's happy, yay. Now, contrary to popular belief, Thomas is not actually from Gra, but he was just stationed there, so, yeah. Ha, fate will change. You're kind of channeling Crom there. That was simple. And Frost is still a family man. They're still a little bit, I don't know. They're all still a bit angsty, especially Wolf. You'll see in his ending. Hey, your nation hasn't totally collapsed, you know. I mean, Nina's still around. You can easily just build some. Oh yeah, you worked hard in all the no battles that I used you in. I do kind of like that line. Interesting. Well, that makes sense. I wonder if she says that even if you didn't recruit him. I still don't know. And Nina, well, of course she knows the obvious truth. And now we get to the second part of the ending. And this bit was in fact the only part of the ending in the original Mystery of the Emblem. This dialogue is virtually unchanged. And hey, it's non-hologram Goto, which means that he's actually physically here. Why he didn't help us in the final battle is beyond me. I mean, yeah, apparently the stats he has stored in the actual game data aren't actually that great, and they're mostly inferior to his Shadow Dragon stats, but at least he could have healed. And now we've got some significant stuff with Tiki. It turns out that, yeah, because of the Binding Shield being restored, Tiki doesn't need to worry about going insane anymore. So, that means that she can come live with Marth and everyone in the castle, which is, yeah, and that line. And you get a bit of dialogue from Militia. Now, of course, this conversation only really happens if all three of these parties are alive. If any one of them is dead, then this is a bit of a different conversation. But anyway, Militia's come back, and hey, she's actually being a bit more mature now. In fact, she's actually, yeah, being a lot more mature than she usually is, so she's actually shown a bit of character development over the course of the game. I'm glad I kept her in the party long enough to get her all of her supports, because, you know, they were pretty hilarious. Anyway, so, and hey, Militia's actually being quite nice to Sheeta too, so, she's not a crazy fangirl who wants Sheeta to die for her ship, unlike, some fanfic writers. Sorry about that. Yeah, now, I'm wondering here if, again, this might be a little inconsistent, if that should have just been the deities. I don't know if that's a bit of a weird translation. I mean, it may be more literal, but I don't know whether it fits in the context of the FD universe. That's just me, really. So, anyway. So, hey, and Be Brave, by the way, is actually the name of this conversation in the event recap, which you unlock after completing the game. I might talk about that later, but anyway. And you have actual full graphic down here about, showing Marth and Cheetah, and this is kind of a repeat of sort of what happened in the ending of Shadow Dragon, except the difference here is they're already engaged by now, so there's no whole, you know, going on here. So yeah, apparently Marth is gonna become king of the whole world now. Which, you'll find out why that's the case, and why Nina's not being queen anymore. You'll have to wait till the character endings to find that out. So, yeah, we have, you know, Marth and Sheeta live happily ever after, and they have lots of descendants who eventually become the ruling family of Gillis, and, Crom is one of them, so that leads on into Awakening. And now we come to the third part of the ending. This one is also totally new. In this bit, you get a similar thing to everyone from before saying a line, only it's a little more involved. Now the characters actually talk to each other. And hey, we finally get to see Cain and Abel interacting for, like, what, the first time in the entire bloody series? Anyway, yeah, we finally actually get to see Cain and Abel talk to each other. So basically, these dialogues are split up by country, and they require certain combinations of characters to all be alive. Since I've recruited everyone and everyone is alive, I'm going to be getting the full thing. So, yeah, this is the Altea section, and this is divided into the sort of veteran knights, so Cain, Abel, Jagan, and the others. The volunteers, you got Frey Norn, Gerard and Gordon, and finally the 7th platoon, and this bit here. Once again, wait a minute. Once again, Luke has the best moments in this game. And he's being hammy again. And Rhodey's being ever the calm one. So yeah, of course, this only takes place if everyone in the 72 is alive. And that includes... wait for it... Katarina! So yeah, this whole section of the conversation will not happen at all if you didn't recruit her. So, yeah, make sure you get her. I'm not sure if Katarina's kind of an implied love interest to a male my unit, but anyway. Also, see that bit with Riz? That's the last bit of the Altea comment section, and he's got a bit all to himself and it's only one line, so, interesting. Now, this is Bruce, obviously, and Sirius seems to have disappeared again, and now we get kind of a funny conversation. Roger's now hitting on Militia. I think that's kind of funny. The one who was in love with Sheeta is now hitting on the one who was in love with Marv. Kind of like the whole pair the spares trope, but it doesn't work. Again, I always thought it would be hilarious if Militia met Luke, for reasons I've already explained. Anyway, so Delph/Virgil, Robert, and Layden are all there, and that's what he would have wanted us to do. Well, can't you just go and ask him yourself? After all, he's right. Alright. And he didn't even appear at all there. And now we're in Macedon, so Minerva and the White Wings are all speaking. And of course they've all done well. I mean, Paolo and Catria are completely broken, and S can be really powerful and trained. So yeah, the White Wings are pretty formidable as a group. I think Catria is still pining over Marv, despite the fact that she promised that she'd get over it in her third support with my unit. Yeah. Oh, and Maria's here too. And a callback to Shadow Dragon Man. And, oh great, we've got Mathis. And he's still being all overprotective of his sister. And it seems that Julian and Lena are pretty much virtually engaged by now, so Mathis is probably going to have some issues with that. And hey, Ricard's like, and you don't get to see Julian's response to that, so yeah. By the way, this isn't the, oh, another one's discovered that friendship is magic. This is getting insane. Anyway, yeah, Warren gets a section of Macedon all to himself because he's, you know, generic. I would have liked to have seen him talk to Catria more. They're supposed to be old friends, after all. Anyway, and now Sheeta addresses the other Telesians. Overall, I feel this ending is reminiscent of Path of Radiances. You know, it's divided into countries, and everyone of that country goes up, speaks a few lines, talks to each other, and explains what they're going to be doing after the war. So, hey, it's interesting. Yeah, you say that despite being one of the most overpowered axe fighters in the whole game. And hey, even despite the fact that Castor had to resort to being a con artist, it was all for noble reasons. He did it to get money for his sick mother, so yeah, you can sympathise with that. It's very rare you see a sympathetic con artist and things, but hey, Castor's and Nina didn't say very much. And yeah, now Astrum is still really, really sorry about the fact that he chased us for like 3 chapters straight. And hey, George is talking to Horace too. Yeah, there was a rumour a little while ago that Astrum and George were brothers. They're not. They're just really good friends. I think I've said that before. But anyway, they do have similar hair, but yeah. Dolph and Messalin, I don't think they're also related, and also Thomas is presumably not related to Sedga, but anyway. And those three all talk, because, you know, they were the ones trapped in the cell last time. Of course, Boa is gone, but he's no real loss. Now, this bit here, yeah. The her they mention again. Caesar's sister, who is implied to be Rad's girlfriend as well. And... and now Narbal's leaving, Fina is following him as a fangirl too, and now he has another stalker. So that's going to be kind of hilarious. And you know, I like this. This is a nice touch. The 2 ballisticians get a talk. The ones who were ballisticians in the first game. I actually think that's pretty cool. Anyway, and now Ymir seems to be grouped with in the others category. He's just from a village in Greece though. Now you don't know what Athena's country actually is. Now Frost is saying that and this is cool because Frost is interacting with these guys. Remember that both Frost and the Dice Maris duo, they both debuted in the BS Fire Emblem chapters. You'll be seeing those after the main story. But yeah, Malice still is. Yeah, she's pretty cool. And talking about I don't know, at one point I always thought that Maris could possibly be paired with Ogma if there was a chance, but I don't know, anyway. So now the Wolf Guard is still doubting, and Violent has actually been the voice of reason here. Oh yes, Wolf says he must continue to fight, but you know, the truth is, he's actually really just a gigantic emo, as you will see in his ending. And hey, Elrond. And it seems that Elrond again has finally understood the magic of friendship. Despite the fact that he didn't show that at all in the support conversations, like really, he was still a complete and total jerk in all his support with my unit. And hey, Etzel's talking. Now, if you want to see some more interactions between all the mages, well, you'll have to wait till the DLC chapters, which I'll be doing after the main story. And Shima, once again, doesn't want Samson to leave her. Yeah, it's pretty implied they have a sort of love interest thing going on. And now it's time for the Dragonkin. So yeah, Tiki and Bantu are talking there. And yeah, they're gonna go look at the village, and hey, Zane's there. Yeah, see, Zane is interesting. And Nagi's gonna return to her eternal sleep until awakening, that is. And now the final part of the ending. Technically speaking, this is kind of part of the other bit of the ending. It's sort of Martha and my unit, should I say, their thing. And we have an actual artwork of Marth there on the bottom screen, looking extremely Bishonen. But anyway, more so than he does in his actual in-game portrait, by the way. So anyway, we're talking about this thing, and here's where we get to what the name of the game comes from. Because apparently my unit doesn't want to be heard about in history. They want to vanish as if they were an original fanfiction character, Do Not Steal, out of the canon characters, are really the only ones who are featured in future installments. So, godlike him, I wouldn't exactly call him godlike. I mean, he is better in this game than he was in Shadow Dragon. But as far as Lords in the FE series go, the real godlike one is probably Ike. And also Sigurd. It's still a toss-up for me which of those two is the best Lord in the series. Although then now there's Crom, and Crom can be pretty damn powerful from what I've seen. Okay, interesting. Please tell me this isn't going where I think it is. Please don't. Oh, good, he just said friend. Phew! For one point I thought she was going to supplant Sheeta and make Sheeta die for her ship. But no, good thing. Yes, Martha's just friends with my unit. Sheeta is still the canon love interest, and that's the way it should be. Anyway, we now have, the ending roll, and, yeah, it's, wow, it's pretty perfectly synced to the two screens, so it's become one big, long, scrolling thing. And that's where, there are quite a lot of Let's Plays of, game clusters on YouTube that put the top screen to the side, and the bottom screen to the other side. Yeah, for the most part, I like that better, but for these credits, like in this scroll like this, you really do need the two screens to each other. So anyway, this is called The War of Heroes, probably kind of like a reference to the game's title, Heroes of Light and Shadow. Now, of course, the hero of Shadow referred to in the title is, of course, my unit. Now, this is a bit interesting because in the Japanese version, there was no real other connotations of the term Shadow. Medius was always known as the Dark Dragon rather than Shadow Dragon. And that's where things get a bit confusing. In Japanese, the term Shadow was exclusively good, and used specifically to refer to my unit. This time you get Shadow being used to refer to Medius as well, in the whole evil Shadow sense. But my unit is Shadow in the case of that she is sort of Marth's Shadow, or the one who supports, from the shadows and the light. Anyway, I'll stop this now and talk about here. Like most Fire Emblem games, you now get a record of, this is almost identical to Path of Radiance, you get a record of how much turns it took to complete every chapter and how much time it took. So you'll notice that the time exponentially increased starting from after the prologue. And whoa boy, I took a lot of turns on chapter 3. Holy crap, I might have took more turns there than all the other chapters, any other chapter really. And so most chapters were really 30 to 40 minutes. The long chapters were more like 40 minutes, but I'm Mercenary Squad. Haha, one turn, baby! I had to abuse something like that, but really I did that just to save Caesar and Rad's lives. Anyway, so yeah, 40 minutes is roughly the average here, and well, Sanctuary of Sorcery really took 52 minutes? Oh right, that was the one with the ridiculously long preparations, of course, the only one with the preparations was in parts. The Mask Blast did that pretty quickly. Yeah, most of the side quests are pretty short. Graveyard of Dragons. Hey, Frozen Land took longer, despite the fact that Graveyard of Dragons was the only one I had to split into 3 parts, and Frozen Land did take longer, and I took a lot of turns there too, those damn reinforcements. Anyway, Return of the Prince. Wow, that was quite a long time too. I could have, yeah, probably done that faster if I hadn't got trapped behind the damn door. I know now. When I'm going to give someone a unlock staff, I'm going to actually make sure they have enough of a rank to use it now. Anyway, right then, let's see. Well, the final battle took me a long time. That's the longest so far, actually. Because of the reinforcements, I should probably say. Death of the Wyvern's Dale was pretty quick. Dragon's Altar, yeah, reinforcements. And the final chapter now, I'm pretty sure that includes preparations. The time, because I'm pretty sure the actual chapter itself did not take 1 hour. I spent ages getting Merrick fully trained up in the arena, so, that kind of took a bit out of it. Anyway, we're going to now move on to the character endings. Now in this game, just like in Shadow Dragon, the character endings and the credits both happen at the exact same time. Me, I'm not really too keen on this. I'll just feel free to read these endings, while I'm talking anyway. I'm not really too keen on this because even though it does shorten down the ending of the game significantly, it is really hard to read, the credits and, the people who worked on the game when you're mostly focused on the character endings, and Cecile's was surprisingly generic. Some of these endings are pretty bland and generic. Oh, right, now the Arcanian Rangers, you'll see them a bit later. Anyway, some of these endings are a little generic, but one thing I will give them credit for, is the fact the localizers seem to have done a good job on the titles. Now, if you remember the Japanese version of Mystery of the Emblem, most characters simply had titles like Knight of Altea, Archer of Altea, Armor Knight of Altea. Yes, I'm not joking, really, it was just kind of, yeah. And of course, yes, Aaron died of illness. Really, they could have expanded that a bit more, though. They could have said, but his deeds were fondly remembered, blah blah blah, but... Anyway, Militia's kind of interesting. Apparently she vanished and everyone's really concerned about her. And yeah, Catriel, you were awesome. Now, sympathy is a reference to the fact that Paula is implied to have an unrequited crush on Abel, just as Catria has an unrequited crush on Mar. And Warren just returned to how he was before. I'm sure he gets more developing supports, but anyway. So yeah, like I was saying, this one's totally new. Yeah, so of course, the titles have been localized a bit so that, yeah, they, are a bit less generic, so you'll see Luke and Rhodey were given their own titles. I'm pretty sure they had to make up a few of these from scratch. Some of the ending titles are the same as in Shadow Dragon, but some of them aren't. So for example, Gordon is of course no longer the Ungagged, because he wasn't gaggled in this game. So anyway... So he became a woodcutter, but he kept on training to fight stuff. So, one of them prefers not fighting, one of them prefers fighting. I'm not sure if that one changes if you didn't recruit Lena, but you should have. And Mathis. And yes, that is almost exactly the same as his ending in Shadow Dragon. Seriously, this guy got looked at like no development at all. Oh, and he helps Prospective Knight, so I guess maybe maybe he enjoyed trolling Luke so much that he went to troll other knights who want to pick up hot clerics. Oh, come on, Ogma, you could have got a better ending than that! Oh, seriously, he was awesome, he could have got at least a little bit better. Oh yeah, and apparently, yeah, that Palace Magic Academy will get mentioned a little later in other people's endings. Yeah, you Bello, the timid prince. And so he studied in Altair as well. I don't know what happened to Groost exactly. And Sirius? Well, of course, he left mysteriously. There was really no other fate for that guy, but you'll see later there's some more interesting stuff. Sly Swindler, yeah, you'll see that a little bit more if you look at one of the BS chapters. So yeah, he saved a lot of money. Yeah, now, the game doesn't fully go into this, but Castor is heavily implied to have been a con artist. His ending is pretty, what you'd expect. Anyway, Castor, yeah, it's heavily implied he's become a con artist since the last game. I told you back in when we recruited him exactly what the backstory to with him there is. He only did it for very sympathetic reasons. Because, yeah, one of his, sisters sold herself into slavery and ended up dying. And so that would never happen again, he, yeah, became a con artist to save money for his mother. And hey, Frey gets a, well, he's still being the teacher, marginally less generic ending than Shadow Dragon. Of course, in Shadow Dragon, his generic ending was, pretty much a complete clue that he was, the canon sacrifice. Lax Blade. You don't want to be Lax, you know, with a blade when you're impersonating. He's still impersonating that guy. And stalking him like Fina. So yes, Wendell is now the Archmage of Carden, probably taking over with Goto. I'm not sure what happened to Goto, given that he wasn't playable and so doesn't get a character ending. Now Caesar is happily with his sister. Oh, okay, that's pretty bleak. Okay, let's just say it was the first one. And Rad's still Lady Killer. So yes, his lover is heavily implied to be Caesar's sister. And Narval the Scarlet Sword, who my sister wishes was still wearing purple. And again, he disappeared mysteriously. A lot of characters do that in these endings, so get used to seeing that. And now, by the way, yeah, here we go. The wind, in this case, being a metaphor for Narval, presumably. She vanished with him as in, yeah. I still like to ship them, but, you know, the possibility's still there. And, oh yeah, well, Jagan's death was presumably by old age, and presumably quite a bit later, but still. And Bandol discarded his Dragonstone. That's probably a good idea, given that he's complete crap with it. No. He's still single. Perfect shot, really, with those snaps. And yes, so George founded the Arcadian Rangers. You'll see that reference in quite a few other characters' endings. Now, Minerva's ending is kind of interesting. Now, here's the thing. She renounces her claim to the throne regardless of whether or not Mishala survives. She did that in the original Mystery of the Emblem as well. And as her ending in Shadow Dragon states, she really had no interest in being queen. Of course, if Mishala didn't survive, who did take the throne? Anyway, now we have a nice touch. I do like these two endings. So basically, Merrick built a magic academy in the palace, and so he was friendly and earned the love of his students. And Elrond, he became a Pontifex of Cardane, but his strict personality earned him the respect of his students. And he also discovered that friendship was magic. Sorry. But I like the parallels in those two endings. You know, like, they often do that, but yeah, having those two be similar anyway. Oh, and he was still spending his money gambling. Pricey sellsword? You call 580 gold pricey? That was like nothing. Or was it even cheaper? I don't know. Okay, I will admit that she is pricey in the bonus chapters. I will show that later. Yeah, she is kind of pricey there by those standards. And there's Jake. And they still dream about visiting faraway continents. I guess their dream to do that got interrupted by this war, but now they're actually going to go up there. Ex-Sea Walker, I like that touch. And yeah, he never went back to being a pirate, so yeah, he's finally learned his lesson. And I do like the ones they've done in the ending here. They've kind of mimicked the Wolfguard's endings, actually. And so basically, they all went around, as you'll see, helping the weak. Belf, the name changes one. He will forever be the butt of many jokes about fan translations. Let's name X-Virgil. Oh, well, given that Sirius did mysteriously disappear, perhaps he went around aiding the weak too, and maybe he ran into that guy, and maybe Raiden finally realizes, oh, right, you're him, yeah. Everyone is complete idiots around that guy. Now, I think there's a typo here. That probably should have been there she went, like it was in Shadow Dragon. Anyway, and her ending's a little bit more, expanded on than back in Shadow Dragon. And, Zane finished. Speaking of Zane, a random fact about him. Zane was originally supposed to appear in Tearing Saga, so perhaps that could have led up to that. Of course, when Tearing Saga, the creator left, and then Tiki in the future, she becomes awesome. So I'll talk about the Tearing Saga later. Anyway, so yeah, apparently S left Abel for reasons unknown. Maybe her support revealed that? Maybe not exactly, because I've read her supports in Japanese, and they talk about things like what their kids' names are going to be. That doesn't seem like... yeah, anyway. So, and then Abel left in search of her. So I told you, a lot of people disappear mysteriously. Yeah, some people seem to believe that that was punishment for him being a traitor. I really don't think that's the case. So Maslin is here. Anyway, like I was, you can look up Tearing Saga's pre-release info. If you want to know what the whole deal with Zane, yeah, basically the creator of it left Intelligent Systems, and then things got a bit complicated, and it was, yeah. Anyway. I cannot take that seriously, this ending, because Past Sins is the name of the fanfic. Anyway, Thomas, who is totally not related to Sedgar, also joined a band of watchmen, presumably with Massillon. But he didn't really like the military that much. And despite the fact that her ending says that she's Gra's princess, she renounced her claim to Gra's throne. I guess Gra used to be the same kingdom as Altea, so I guess they're going to be joined now. And Samson also settled down in the palace town. Love interest. But, yeah, people often love him in emergencies despite the fact that he kind of fails. And Frost. I kind of find this funny. So, to sum up, Frost went home and was a family man. Perhaps he lost to Guile. And now we have Roshi. Yeah, Pardim's funeral. Still sad for that guy. Not sure that Dito was present, because in the original Mystery of the Emblem, he was the only one of the Wolf Guard you actually got. Yeah, Violent, he got a little bit of development in this one. At least he's not quite as developed as the rest of the Wolf Guard, but at least he does get some. Anyway, the next one is particularly, well, not important. This one's become particularly infamous. Wolf. As if searching for death, he threw himself recklessly into battle after Nate. In other words, after the war, Wolf went emo. You'll find out more about that in his support conversations, but essentially Wolf did not take Hardin's death well. He was so devoted to Hardin, it bordered on really mentally messed up, and his death seriously affected him, to the point where he basically has no reason to live anymore. So yeah, that's pretty depressing. Wolf has one of the most depressing characteristics, and now we come to this guy. And you know what I will say? The people who complained about this ending, really, they must not have been able to read Japanese properly. Because a lot of people thought that Mishalis both took over the throne of Macedon and conquered another country and became king there. And so they thought, wow, he's getting off way too easy for his thing. With a simple change to he either took over Macedon's throne or conquered another country and became king there, it becomes a lot more ambiguous, and thus, there should be less flame wars now. Anyway, so basically we've now got we've now got all the clerics, and Nina. This one's interesting. Nina also disappeared mysteriously. Sirius disappeared mysteriously too. Perhaps they, disappeared mysteriously together, if you know what I mean. And of course she probably was implied to marry Merrick. Speaking of which, Linda's ending's kind of changed a little bit. Some people thought that Linda's ending implied she had a crush on Merrick, and thus began a massive amount of die-for-our shipping on Ellis. Her new one implies that that's not exactly the case. Anyway. And now Mark was crowned 5th King of Altea and became the unified leader of Arcania, which becomes pretty important to the backstory of Awakening. Oh, before I say this, the music back there. Oh, so now we're at the fin screen. So, yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for watching. This has been Heroes of Light and Shadow. In fact, I just want to go on a record and say this bit here. I didn't get a chance to say because I was talking about character endings, but the music that played back then was an acoustic guitar version of Katarina's theme, Puppets Don't Cry, titled simply Friend. Yes, in English, even in the Japanese version. Well, at least that's better than, say, I don't know, In a Shiny Wind, which was the actual name, written in English in one of the Japanese versions. I believe that track was called In the Wind and the Light, in the English version. Anyway, so, yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for sticking with this playthrough the whole time. And yeah, that's the end of Heroes of Light and Shadow, the main story. But don't worry, there is a bit more to this game. Oh, wait a minute. There's a bit more right now. My ranking! Okay, I'll just say this. This is not in any way an indication of my skill as a player. You can get a AAA rank without even trying. If you're a reasonably decent player in any regard, you will AAA this game without even trying. So don't even think of this as an indication of my skills at all. I'm not really sure how the rankings work in this game, but they're so lenient, it really doesn't matter. Like, seriously, any player with at least a vague amount of skill will easily be able to triple A this game without even trying. As long as you keep everyone alive and get everyone leveled up reasonably well, yeah, you will, again, triple A this without even trying. So again, the rankings are really lenient. Don't in any way take this as an indication of me being a super awesome Fire Emblem player, because I'm not, really. I don't care about rankings in the slightest. I have never cared about rankings, and I never will. So, yeah, I actually play the opposite of efficiency, really. I prefer to get my characters leveled up as much as possible. I don't even care about turn count. I might kind of care about ranking slightly in the trial maps, but that's kind of different, because they're standalone, your level ups don't really matter there, so there's no reason to play for stats, so yeah. Also, you'll see there's a congratulatory message. Congratulations on beating hard mode. Your skill is very impressive. Why, thank you. Please try Maniac Mode or harder if you believe that your full potential has not yet been realized. I don't think I'm going to do that, but basically, this message here, now normally I'm pretty sure this message is actually different if it's the first time you finished hard mode. Because when you first finish hard mode, you'll be informed that you've unlocked the male reclass merge. What this means is that the male class set A, which is the speed branch, and the male class set B, which is the power branch, will be merged into one, so males can reclass freely to anything. Of course, the file I used for this emulator already had completed hard mode once, and already had this bonus unlocked. Without this, I would not have been able to reclass Elrin to Dark Mage. So yeah, I don't get the normal unlocking message here. Now, if you complete Lunatic mode, you unlock Lunatic Reverse. In Lunatic Reverse, it's basically the same as Lunatic mode, except all enemies always attack first even if it's not their turn. Essentially, think of it as Lunatic, but every enemy has a built-in Vantage skill. It's essentially played the same way as Lunatic, except that archers are much more valuable, because they can attack the enemy from a distance without fearing a counterattack. That's much more valuable in a mode where you are guaranteed to be counterattacked, unless the enemy literally cannot counter you. Other unlockables, beating the game on any difficulty, obviously unlocks the sound test, and also the event recap. In the event recap, you can just basically look at any conversations that happened in the game. It just is basically a library of anything, including support conversations. So basically every support you unlock, you can review it in the event recap. And, well, that's basically all I need to say about that. So, that's pretty much everything you unlock for beating the game. The bonus chapters, by the way, the BS Fire Emblem chapters, you unlock them just by finishing the prologue. So, yeah, I already got those a long time ago. And the downloadable content maps, well, they're like I said downloadable content. However, they are free, and as of this point, all 3 downloadable content maps have been released, and they'll be available forever until Nintendo shuts down their servers. So there's no time window, you don't need to worry about that, just get them. Of course, if you're playing on an emulator, you actually can't get them by Wi-Fi download, so instead you'll have to get someone to give you a save file that has them unlocked. There is one available on the Heroes of Shadow website, so where you can download the patch, you can also download a save file that will give you all the extra downloadable content, like the 3 maps, plus the Bomb Drop, Growth Drop, and the Rainbow Potion. So you can find a downloadable save file, on the Heroes of Shadow website, so go check there if you want one. I used a different one to that website, because I also wanted one that unlocked the male reclass merge, but anyway. So yeah, that's the end of the... Well, it's not the end of the playthrough, that's the end of the main story. And if you press start here, you'll go back to the main screen and hear the awesome Fire Emblem thing again. So, thank you very much for watching. This isn't quite over yet, I still have the bonus maps to do. But until I get around to them, well, yeah, I'll see you guys later, and thank you all for sticking through this playthrough. So, until I see you next time,